What's going on, everybody? Should be in charge here for the Dragon Ball Legends podcast episode 22. Just quick audio check. Make sure you can hear me and Palm and everybody else that's here. And let Palm take the floor.
Thanks, Nas. And yeah, welcome everybody to Dragon Ball Legends podcast episode 22. YAYAYAGHHH square, because, well, you know, second Kid Buu and stuff. Before we start, as always, make sure to check out all our other social media if you're interested on staying up to date on Twitter, YouTube, and so on by typing !Linktree in the chat. Today, we have two newcomers, but first off, we're going to introduce the regulars, and those are the homie Goresh.
Hello.
You already heard Nazarachi.
What's up?
We got our hybrid professor.
Hello.
And our legendary commentator, not just Super Saiyan 3, Ryuden.
Yes, I get a new title. Hello, everyone.
Exactly. I was waiting for that one. And with that said, I would like to hand it over to Azdeek and then Sherwood to just introduce yourselves as our two newest additions to the team.
What's up, guys? Extremely grateful to be here. My name's Azdeek. I am a free-to-play player, so, you know, I'm probably going to go ahead and base my whole personality off of being free-to-play, by the way.
Like me.
And then go ahead and hop.
Sorry, just cut you off right there. Hey guys, my name's Sherwood. First name's Red. Call me either or, doesn't really matter. I run a Smash Brothers channel, and I've been in the content creation scene for the last 7 years. And I wanted to thank 5-9 Gaming for having me on. A little bit nervous, but hope I do well, and I can only see this as a good opportunity to merge myself into the Legends scene a little bit.
Welcome, new blood.
Thank you.
Exactly. And yeah, with that said, our topics today are, of course, the step-up banner, the new units, the Buhan and the event, the raid, and we're going to have a look at the video and stuff that is dropping on Tuesday. And with that said, as the first topic for the free-to-play, by the way, Azdeek, what is your perspective on the new step-up banner we got last Wednesday?
All right, so obviously, when we think about the step-ups, right, as of right now, the first thing that you have to do is basically praise the new ticket system, right? Everyone kind of is a big fan of the new ticket system. Obviously, that's not true. It's really bad. I don't know if you guys have seen the clip of Rhymestyle going around on Reddit where he's doing like the multi from the tickets and he doesn't get a single featured character, and it just looks so painful. And I don't know, it just doesn't sit right with me, especially from me being like a free-to-play player. I just can't find too much value out of it. I'm not gonna lie to you guys, like I am extreme, like I want UI Goku so bad. Like I've wanted UI Goku since he released. I think I spent like 30k free-to-play crystals on UI Goku, and I just couldn't pull him. So when he came back on this banner, obviously I had to go in there, and I still couldn't pull him. I'm not gonna lie, I got shafted. And I just find it really difficult at this point in time for me to go ahead and just... I can't justify going back in on this banner. I think there's some good stuff going on here. I know a lot of people are having a ton of fun with Kid Buu, but when I go, and I feel like you really need the teams here. Like, I just don't have a good regeneration team. I don't really have the resources or chrono crystals needed to go ahead and build up a pretty stacked regeneration team. That being said, I think this is a pretty good banner for Saiyans, though. Like, you have Majin Vegeta on there, who has a good Saiyan Z ability if you can star him up. You have the new support Vegeta, who's basically kind of like the scuffed Vados, right? I think that's pretty much like the general consensus. He's not as good as Vados, but he's nice. And then you have the UI Goku, of course, who is just... That's who I just long for. That's who I want the most.
Yeah, I think the main thing with this banner is when you compare this banner to something like the Future Gohan one that just left, the Future Gohan one more directly was like leaning towards one team. So Future, obviously, you had Green Goku Black, you had the Future Gohan himself, you had Vegito Blue, you had Red Cell, you had Merge Zamasu, you had Yellow Trunks. Like, all these units are all part of the Future team. Whereas this banner sells Future regen. Kid Buu himself is regen. Vegeta is like Saiyans and Vegeta family. Turles is movies, and then Chomp and Vados are God Key. So
Nobody's
it's more so
mentioning
spread
this yet,
out.
but you could totally get Kid Buu to work great on a powerful opponent team.
Oh yeah, of course. But I'm just saying, like, this banner is not as focused on one team as the Future Gohan banner was. So if you're specifically looking to just bolster one team, it's going to be a lot harder to do that on this banner. But on the other hand, like a lot of these characters on this banner are actually really good. Like Red Cell obviously is really good. Champa and Vados are both really good. The Vegeta is solid. So I mean, the actual featured list of characters is good. It's just spread out. And then obviously Yellow freezes on LOE and powerful opponents. So
yeah, I think that the banner itself, when you're summoning on it with Chrono Crystals, is pretty decent in terms of what you end up with. But they should, I don't know, they need to narrow the pool of units on the ticket, so it's not like every unit in the game. Like maybe it should just be like the actual new and featured units, then maybe like the top 4 to 5, 6 from this list on screen, and then cut out all these other older bullcrap ones, right? Like, I don't know. That would make those tickets a lot more valuable. I also never did the Try and Surpass Me event because I didn't summon on Yamcha or Launch. What did these gold tickets end up getting you? A free single summon? A free multi?
yeah,
Like,
those just turn into a single guaranteed sparking ticket.
oh, okay. Well, that's an L for me.
I'm curious, did any of you guys pull anything like good off of those tickets? Because I didn't pull a single featured character off the tickets from all the summons that I did.
Absolutely not. I got old unfeatured units on every single one. I think I put about 6, 8 tickets in. I think the only good thing I got was the green transforming Goku Black, but
he's
honestly,
everywhere
man,
at this
like
point.
he's everywhere at this point. He was like Red 6, put into the limbo state, so honestly, man, just like as said before, it's just these tickets, like even from like a free-to-play standpoint, it's just, I wish, like, if a free-to-play player is saying that like these tickets aren't worth it, I really think that stands out. And obviously, like, what I would want personally is maybe this does help people that are brand new to the game, you know, getting a bunch of new units and like being able to like form a team, right? Like have a base. But what about maybe bringing the idea of maybe an alternative? Like if you saved up enough tickets, you could do the old system again where you had higher rates at only featured units, you know, or like the 1% units.
Yeah, I mean, I'm all for any change that changes the way the tickets are structured. The tickets have been pretty much like on a decreasing value from good to bad ever since the LF Super Saiyan 2 Gohan banner came out. Like, because his were great. Like the tickets, there was only the featured units, and you had like a 20% chance on the tickets to pull Gohan, like LL. Ever since then, it's been all downhill.
Absolutely.
Yeah, even the 5% were better that we had on UI Goku before, you know, they switched it completely to Gogeta Blue and Broly. But yeah, I agree with what people said, is that this banner is a little bit all over the place. And I remember when I streamed, when I was summoning on the subathon for 5.9, I got all the LFs except for the new one, which is of course just a little bit of bad luck. But
I was just gonna say, I think the most demoralizing thing about the ticket banner is not so much like the actual value of the tickets, but more so the pool of units that's available, because it's actually really small. So a lot of times you find yourself doing a multi and you end up pulling like the same unit like 3, 4, 5 times, and it's just not fun. Yeah, like I don't know why they do that. They should just, what they should do is they should just put every unit in the game in that pool, and it's just like more random, but then boost the rates of the newer, like of the Vegeta and the Kid Buu with those tickets. That's all they got to do.
Exactly.
Yeah, I think that's the only criticism of the tickets that I have, is that there's no increased rates. Even if it was just double, it would feel more satisfying. But yeah, you just get random crap every time you summon on it.
yeah.
Those tickets are basically the reason why this game doesn't have a pity system. Like they get away with it with that. Like that's their version of pity in this game, and it stinks when you get your quote unquote pity, and then you always just get bent over by it.
You get the boot tanks.
And then your only other consolation pity is, go buy, LF Goten from the exchange shop with 1,000 tickets. Like, okay,
Thanks.
come on.
What happened to those packs they used to sell? It's like 20, 25 bucks, something like that. You got 600 Z power over the latest unit. And
They did that with Super
ended-
Saiyan 2, right?
That
Goku?
ended after year 1. Like, they didn't do that again after year 1.
Yeah.
We're like,
but is there a reason that they don't do it anymore?
well,
You can just buy the character and probably don't have to summon if you just want
yeah,
one of the
probably to
characters.
encourage more people to summon, but also they only did that on Ultra Space Time summons, which are not existent in the game anymore at this point. Also,
true. I mean, I guess they kind of replaced it with those missions for the All-Star banners, but you still have to pull the unit first, and if you are super unlucky, then those missions don't help you.
Yeah, well, they're wonderful if you do get the unit, but yeah,
Right.
a guaranteed path to getting a unit, I mean, especially if it's a non-LF, should exist.
I agree.
Yeah.
Even if you're
Either
just
that
expanding
or-
those Legends tickets and they cost an obscene amount.
It would just be nice because like we've thrown out the idea of them just giving a 0-star of every new unit to everyone, just so you could at least play with them and then summon to power it up. If that's not fiscally like an option for them, they could at least do something where you could buy every unit at 0 stars and then have to summon to power them up. Like, oh, you just want the Vegeta now? Get him for $10. Oh, you want the 0-star LL Kid Buu? Get him for $20. Boom, right there. And then from there, well, if you want more than 0 stars, you better start summoning. Then they make money, and everybody could be potentially happy besides 100% free-to-play players.
I feel like if we did that, though, they
R.I.P. me.
wouldn't want to summon on the banner to power them up. I feel like they would just want to do Z powers, right? To power them up, to save the crystals, like if they were free to play.
Right.
But then again, they wouldn't be free to play if they bought the pack, I guess.
Maybe they could get around that by just releasing more Z powers that are restricted to 3 stars and up, right? So you buy the unit at 0 stars, you have to at least summon to get them to 3, and then you can start offloading multi-Z power in them.
I mean, it's already a pain to get a sparking from 2 to 4 star, and only then does it get a little bit easier because you have, from PvP, or for example, if you get those 200 Z power, it's also 5 stars and up. From the guild shop, it's I think 4 stars and up, except if you get the 50 Z power.
The 50 where it's
So,
anything.
yeah, all you get is the sparking metal shop, which is limited to like 9 a week if you get if you do the happy weekend summon, or 10 a week, and that's the only 100 Z powers you can get. So like 100 per week. That's going to be painfully slow, especially if you want to do that to more than one unit at a time.
Yeah, if it's a 0-star unit, that's like 6 weeks before you get them to 1 star.
What are the ones in the guild
Yeah,
shop?
dude.
I know like they're so pricey in the guild shop. What's the star requirement on those Z powers?
5,
Those ones
I
only
guess
give.
5,
Do
yeah.
those ones only give like 10 Z power though?
30.
They give
Yeah.
you like 30.
Okay. Yeah.
And you can
It's
buy
not
only
worth it.
15.
Yeah, so I think that the path to getting a unit guaranteed would be great if they would just sell the units at 0 star, just so that you could have them in your roster and like play with your friends in LBR mode or whatever. And then if you were competitive, you can start shelling out money. And even then, if they don't want to sell the Legends limited units, period, but sell like all the just regular sparkings at $10, get them at 0 stars. But you still have to summon if you want the limited unit. All right, whatever. That's better than nothing.
Yeah. Okay, so I think it's time to talk about the actual units, and of course we're gonna start it off with the LF Kid Buu, and I would like to start off with Goresh. What are your thoughts on this unit?
I actually really love this unit a lot, and I feel like people are like, oh yeah, they say this about every new unit, but like honestly, I haven't really felt this way about a unit since UI Goku, and before UI Goku, I really didn't have like a most fun unit to use. But like this guy feels like a unit that if you know what you're doing with him and you know how to manipulate his green card and like stuff like that, he's really, really good. And I think obviously like I just mentioned, the main thing about it is his green card. I remember looking at this for the first time and I was like, what did they do? What did they do with his green card? 15% healing, 60% vanish engage restoration, 30% damage inflicted, cancels attribute downgrades, card draw speed, by the way, which is stackable. So if you have him on a team where you can draw multiple green cards over and over again, or you just switch into him with a green card in your hand already, he has a way to draw a green card by making the enemy switch. So you can like basically guarantee that he has 2 green cards coming in, and that's essentially going to let you restore your vanish meter twice. So if you're good enough with him and you know how to manipulate that vanish aspect of his kit, like he's ridiculous. And then obviously his kit also feeds into that more, where once you vanish an attack, you get vanish engage recovery. And then the same thing, you draw cards when you vanish. It's just a constant machine that feeds into itself, and it kind of reminds me a little bit of the LF Broly. But to me, this guy is just more fun to me than Broly. I mean,
Yeah,
it's
because
just, I don't know.
Unlike Broly, he has this one other thing that you didn't mention, where every 4 ticks he just gets 30
Yeah.
key. It's just like,
Yep.
here you go, here you go, here you go, here you go. Like,
Yeah, that's actually something that's cool too, because it makes you pay attention to like, okay, when did I switch him in? When is the key gonna regenerate for me? Like when is like you have to keep in your mind like okay, every 4 counts. So you have to be looking at the timer when you're using him to figure out when you're gonna get the key back.
Yeah, but not only that, like you said, if you combine that with his green card and ability to vanish, you could like leave him on the field longer than any other character in the game at this point.
Yeah. I mean, I've had fights where I literally just used him and that's it. Like I sold the team with him.
I love how his green card.
So would you say he's Zenkai level?
Yeah, I mean, well, there's different tiers of Zenkai units. If you're comparing him to like 18, I would probably say no, or Gohan. But like he's up there.
His green card is also an Easter egg for our stream because it's called nap time. So if anyone remembers the nap time ad, bonus Easter egg points for you guys.
OGs will remember, yeah. Yeah, but I think also it's just in terms of being a bit unique with his kit. It's just so much fun because I think he's the first unit to gradually get that key back every 4 counts.
Yeah,
then
it's permanent.
Yeah, so you basically just leave him in. If he's the last man standing and you have, for some reason, you have Dabura or Whis on your team just to get additional green cards and they die. I think it's 3 times that he restores Vanish, right? So you can still kind of
it's 4, I think.
4 times.
Damn. Yeah, you can do definitely a decent last man standing with him as well. I think that's really fun. And yeah, I replaced Android 21. I didn't think I would, but I like him better. He's just more fun, even at 3 stars. And Android 21 is maxed out.
What star is this kid, Boo? 3?
Yeah. 3 stars and 21 is maxed.
Yeah, they fulfill different roles, right? 21 is more of a supporting role. And then Kid Buu obviously is just like a one-man army role. It's hard to compare them. 21 comes in, the biggest asset that she has is her key on switch out and the fact that she provides the card draw speed. That like lets you just stall for so long. But Kid Buu, I think, can also stall just by being Vanish God, right? Yep. So, I mean, they do have different roles, but I don't know. I feel like it's up to you at the end of the day which one you want to use.
Yeah, I mean, you have to play, if you want to play one blue unit only, then you have to play one of them, right? So you need to kind of weigh again the playstyle and the kit against each other.
Yep.
I mean, yeah, if you're running DKP in 21 is just so incredibly potent. You get there's an extra 4 Dragon Balls for the fight. That's almost guaranteeing a second Rising Rush. But as chat's saying, and as I agree, 21's kit isn't exciting. It's pretty much one of the old generation's vanilla kits. Green card just kind of gives you an extra green card. The Kid Buu is a bit of fun. Now I haven't had too much success with him, but he just kind of gets rushed, and I fight with Broly, but they kind of have the same kind of feeling where if you get the ball rolling, you really just feel like you're controlling the fight, and no other unit really offers that. And Gresh brought up UI. Besides these 3, I get kind of that feeling with Gogeta sometimes, but yeah, this Kid Buu is super fun, and especially if you're powerful opponents. I think that's where his home is going to be in the future when they start getting some Zenkais.
The big thing about the 21 DKP combo as well is that she provides key on switch out and DKP gets key on switch in. So if you have like a decent amount of cards in your hand, you're going to be able to just use them all immediately. And then also DKP has card draw speed, so you can use the key that you get more efficiently too.
And if DKP has a green card, he just gets a new hand.
Yep.
Yeah.
So that combo, I've said it a few times on my stream, but I think Buu DKP 21 is probably like the most intimidating team I can run into on ranked right now. I mean that they just control everything. I hate them so much.
Like how there was a poll in chat and it ended with the consensus: LF Kid Buu equals good.
Seems good to me.
I mean,
basically.
not wrong.
Yeah. Raiden, what are your thoughts on him?
Well, I was just gonna say, like, I think he's a good unit, but I was gonna bring up the fact that I just really like what they're doing with all these new LFs, and that they have just one little unique thing about them. Like with the Kid Buu, the healing of 30 key every X timer counts in his green card, and then UI with the unique vanish, Broly the punish on you playing defensively. Like every single character has some unique little extra that I enjoy. It's like a little bit of extra effort into their design. I really, really like it. Like Kid Buu's kit is just so well thought out. Your opponent plays defensively, well, the fact that you get your green card and additional vanish, and he just stays there even longer on the field, it's like Goresh said, he could be a one-man army. The potential to be that is just because they design these kits really well.
Your Zenkai Piccolo just one-shotted a full health Jiren. That's ridiculous.
Yep.
14-star power.
Yeah, like we're seeing in the footage right here, he just switched out to another character and your Boo got another green card, and you can basically get back to full vanish, which I think is what you do right here, which is just so crazy to me. Look at that. He probably didn't even anticipate this, and then you're like, goodbye.
Yeah.
Yeah, there, you caught him off guard and you got priority again. Just the ability to do that is so damn good. I like this uniqueness to each one of these LFs. Like, even with Future Gohan, his was all about sealing and oppressing you. Like, during the league and stuff, we saw how good that is with the green Broly. Blue cards and green cards both got sealed. You basically shut down a unit's entire kit.
Oh yeah, no, that's my favorite thing right now is Namek Goku. You just tap your main ability. It's suddenly just a normal unit.
Yeah, I love it. I love that because your opponent sometimes gets caught off guard. They're like, I have this ace in my sleeve, and then you press the main. You're like, no, you don't, and then they die.
Whoops.
Yeah, that's great. I really like the design of these characters so far. It just feels like LFs, although it is a little bit unfortunate that they're more frequent. It does feel like they're putting this little extra effort into their overall design. It's not just, you know, oh, unga bunga, I'm gonna hit you harder. It's more like they have something unique about them, which I like. There's a little bit more thought and care put into them.
Yeah, that's the little footnote that I was gonna add. Is just I hope they continue to do this where, instead of just directly power creeping characters into oblivion, it would be nice if the overall power level range and, like, you know, offensive power remains pretty consistent to what it is now, but they experiment with characters that just have, like, wildly different uses in gameplay. Like this Kid Buu, like, basically all illustrated how much different this Kid Buu is from the Zenkai base 21, but they fill the same role on a lot of teams other than androids, right? So it's good that they have wildly different playstyles, and I hope they keep encouraging that, opposed to just outright offensive power just continuing to scale up and up and up and up and up.
Yeah, one thing I hope everyone noticed is every time we have a podcast where there's a new LF, the one statement that keeps coming up is, if you're a player that knows what you're doing well, this guy can be a one-man army kind of thing. Like us praising that in the hands of a very good player, this guy could topple all others is an indication of a well-designed kid. Like we say that about UI, we say that about Broly, we say this about the Kid Buu. I think that just goes to say, like, they're putting more effort in their overall design.
Mm-hmm. And something that I also really appreciate with the LFs that have came out recently is that you don't need to get them to 3-star to get that double buff for their Z ability. I really appreciate that as well. So, like, if you're a free-to-play player and, like, you throw 1,000 crystals or 500 for step 1 and you get really lucky on the first one, you know, you don't even have to really go in again. Like, you got that double buff.
That's true.
You know what? Speaking of that, I wonder if all future villain LFs are always going to buff powerful opponent. Because I noticed Kid Buu does a 3-star. If they plan on doing that, that would be pretty clever.
I really hope so.
Well, I'd much rather them focus on powerful opponent rather than regeneration or LOE, just so, you know, the tag's broader.
What?
Well, name a lineage of evil unit that's not powerful opponent that isn't chilled.
King Cold.
I mean, he's kind of cool. He might get the grim. I don't know.
King Cold looks at a sword and then gets one-shotted.
Well, the point is, I like the idea of putting more units together. You can now run with Jiren next to Buu, next to Zamasu. Like, this team is
Broly.
way more exciting. And Broly, like, where's this coming from? I love it. Right now, the Saiyan team is the Goku and friends, plus, you know, maybe a fusion or a Vegeta. And hybrids is a bunch of Gohans. Like, I like the powerful opponent tag. I want to see it get more love. I think this is more exciting.
Yeah, I mean, I guess we'll see where they take it. And yeah, alongside him, we got the new Angel Vegeta. And based on the title of your video, Ryuden, what's your opinion on him?
Perfect partner for Super Saiyan 3.
He is the perfect partner. Think about it. He's so... Okay, I'm going to put the fanboy aside. I'll just focus on Vegeta, the character.
Really?
I think he's a really good support unit for Saiyans. One thing that we always talked about is how being able to manipulate sub count is very powerful. And this Vegeta, not only does he give key on swap out as well as additional damage, he's able to manipulate sub count, which is a very big deal. Being able to swap out to units very quickly is powerful. Him, when he gets hit, reducing substitution counts to your other characters as well is huge. How many cover rescue units do we have now? How many unique cover change units do Saiyans have now? I mean, he's a fantastic support that does just a little bit more. I mean, the damage inflicted buff as well as the key was enough for us to say, hey, great support unit, 30% damage inflicted, 50 key, very big deal. But he goes above and beyond. He also gives you, he's also able to do damage, he's able to tank a little bit, but he's going to be one of those units that benefits more the more stars you have. And that's true for every single character in the game, but I think for him, it's going to be like exponential how much he benefits from it, because his kit will certainly benefit a lot from higher stats, which unfortunately as a support with lower stars may not be as, I guess, evident. But if you have him at higher stars, all these things will come to so much more play. Like he's able to get 120 damage inflicted, 30% less damage received. Like these things will be more obvious the longer you have him, the more copies you get of him. He's a fantastic unit. I like him. I love his green card. Drawing 4 extra cards and then being able to swap out and give 50 key is such a ridiculous combination for extending your combos. It's nuts. That right there, those two put together is a very big deal. Blast card, green card, you know, just swap out again, and then boom, you just have a super long combo. And there are a lot of Saiyan units that gain key or slash draw a card when they show up. So he's such good glue for putting teams together, and he's double defenses. That's a rare Z ability for Saiyans. So
Yeah,
it's,
like-
I mean,
LF Super Saiyan 3 Goku, I think, is one of the only other ones that have
Yeah.
it.
no,
And-
there's also
One
the
more?
purple. There's the purple Vegeta from the movie, from the Cooler movie. There's the EX yellow Broly. There's this Vegeta and LF Super Saiyan 3 Goku. But that's one of them is tied to an LF. One of them is tied to an EX. And purple Vegeta hasn't been around too frequently, so a double defense Z ability is very valuable. I just think he's a fantastic unit, and as people use him more and more, I think they're gonna find him core for Saiyans. At least I feel he'll be. I don't know if anyone else feels the same. Oh my god, I
No,
forgot
I
he
agree.
kicks away 50 key too. This dude's amazing. He goes type neutral too. I have nothing to say. I'm putting the mic down. I said it all. He does everything.
The one thing I'll add too is
Okay.
the fact that he gives those 2 key cards, which I think is really underrated. Like
yeah,
the ones that give you
30%
30.
restore on a strike and
Yeah.
a blast for the whole team to be able to use.
Yeah, that one is. I say it's like I think every podcast or something like that, but like the key restoration is like one of the most underrated stats in the game. Like if you're able to constantly restore your key and be at full key, like well not full key, but like at a decent amount of key, like charge stepping is going to get you so much more key, side stepping is going to get you a bit more. It really helps you chain together combos a lot more easily, and the ability to give everybody on the team that buff. Like, we're going to start to see units that are going to just get, like, all this massive key restoration in their kit. Like, Super Saiyan 3 Goku, the Zenkai one has a lot of key restoration. So
You have
30% on
you have
top
to
of his...
clarify.
Yeah, 30% on top of his, like, already ridiculous key restoration is just going to be even better. So that's, like, something that's underrated, I think, that people don't really mention.
Whose gameplay is this?
That's yours. Yours.
Oh. I was gonna say, good.
Looks
Good
does
job.
it look
You
familiar?
said
Right.
Goku. But do you see right there? Do you see right there what I mean right there?
Whose
That's
gameplay
such a
is this?
huge that's such a huge play. Think about it. Your opponent thinks they got the upper hand. It's like, haha, I'm gonna deliver the finishing blow. But Vegeta is reducing sub counts to your allies. That's huge. You can make
Yeah.
someone else take the Rising Rush. Like, what if you have a unit that you want to take death buffs, like the purple Super Saiyan Blue Vegeta? It's perfect right there. He reduces sub count, slashes 50 key, the green card giving you 4 cards. Like, he honestly, we talked about jack of all trade units and we say, like, you know, those units are great and all this other stuff, but he's an example of one that does everything, but does everything exceptionally well. 50 key, 30% damage inflicted, that's a fantastic support. Going type neutral, reducing sub count by 5 main ability, that's great. That's an awesome unit. That's something that we would praise on a defensive unit. And then him being able to take away 50 key too, he's awesome. I think there's nothing more we need to say. He's the best. He's
Also,
number
the
two.
fact that he's like a Saiyan support too is just like, I think he's definitely a unit that's going to be around for a long time, you know?
Yeah.
Just the fact that he's a
Yeah.
Saiyan support and he has the capabilities of all this stuff, it's just, he's a fantastic unit.
You also showcased.
Who else is a Saiyan
I was gonna say you also
support?
showcased the Zenkai 18's glitch with her ultimate, where it still puts the exclamation point, even though it's not dodgeable.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Because you were
that
able to use the
confuses
cover
me all the
rescue with
time.
that up there. I can't believe they haven't fixed that yet.
I don't know who else is a Saiyan support, but I know there's like Sun family supports, right? And I guess you can run that.
There's the.
Or Fiku, right?
Like Yellow
Oh,
Goten, I guess.
I
the
hate that
old
name,
yellow.
Fiku. But
Yeah,
you're
me
right.
too.
To support Goku from
The Namek
that moment.
no,
Oh my
Saiyan
god.
Saga.
The Broly movie,
Yeah.
the second Broly movie or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
No, the blue one, right?
I honestly, I can't stop saying good things about this unit. I think he's great. I
And
think
like
he's
when
able
you
to-
showcase him as well, it really sucks because like I saw comments, it's like, oh, this guy, he's so bad, he's not doing any damage. It's like, well, that's not really like his role to do a lot of damage. His role is to like lower that sub count, provide that support, and like the sub count is so huge, especially like with your showcase right here with the Super Saiyan 3. Let's say they're not anticipating you getting into Super Saiyan 3, right? You pop that main, get 5 counts down. They rising rush you, going like, okay, getting this guy out of the way. There you go. You switch into Super Saiyan 3 Goku, and their rush is gone.
The healing too, because a lot of these Saiyans are just so bulky with their Zenkai stats that like the healing is just the value is really good.
100%.
He's just. I think he is going to age very well. I think a lot of people, like as of right now, he's not going to look as impressive because for most people, having him at high stars is, you know, we talked about the banner and how the format isn't the greatest and all this other stuff. So maybe not everyone will have him at higher stars, but as people pull more and more copies, they'll see that he's more valuable, that he's able to do everything very, very well. I think the only thing that holds back him truly shining is his stats. But that's true for everyone, but for him more so than others, because he's a support type too.
Yeah,
so his
that's
stats
just
are already
the
crippled.
that's the curse of being a support type unit in this game. For whatever reason, they intentionally cripple their stats a lot. If you're a support role, like if you're a support role, they just throw you into the bucket. It's like, okay, well he's a support role, instant like 20% stat reduction or something.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
usually in like
Yeah.
all stats too. Like not even just like one stat. Like okay, he's a support type, so let's lower his defense, right? It's usually they butcher everything.
Well,
Yeah.
I think that if you're questioning if you should use your multi-Z power or start a project, I would push him to 9 stars if you're a Saiyan main at all. He's
Yep.
fantastic.
Mhm.
You can obviously tell like everybody on the podcast is gushing about how perfect this unit is, and of course he's
Or
going
it's
to have
just
one
me.
flaw. Well, no, I think the general community immediately accepted him as a great unit. Like I haven't heard anybody talking negative stuff about him.
How do you guys think he measures up against Vados? Because me personally, maybe it's just me being a simp. I kind of do think I like Vados a little bit more still here.
Vados
She
is
needs
kind of
Auto
low
so
score.
much.
She's like hard support. Like she's all the way over there, just purely dedicated to that. But I prefer this Vegeta for me personally because he has a much easier way of reducing sub count. Photos does it with a green, which is great, and killing Ki is very valuable too. But Vegeta does that on swap in. When he gets hit, everyone else's sub count drops and his main ability. I think those are, to me, for the way that I like to play the characters, far more valuable.
I think
That's fair.
For me, I have to go with Vados being just the better unit. The card drop speed is what seals the deal for me.
Vados
Yeah.
is cross speed, key on in, key on out,
Healing.
the
She has the
healing for the
permanent
party,
damage every time.
the second heal she does for just her main ability that also gives everybody a damage buff.
And it wipes debuffs.
Yeah,
Mhm.
Vados is a rare unit because you've also had those moments where you just see her do like a billion blast damage on you out of nowhere, and you're just like, well, this is a support
Yeah.
unit, right? And then her cover change blowing up 2 cards on the way in, it forces people to start playing with drop combos, or you just straight up end their combo.
Yeah.
I could go on. She has the upper limit factor, and she's on God Key, so you get to use her with UI or whoever the heck you use in the future. So
Yeah, also the fact that her green card is like literally like one of the best in the actually it might even just be the best. Well, maybe Kid Boo's is better. But like she has one of the better green cards in the game, right?
Yeah.
And if you run her with units like VB or Gogeta Blue who like have an available way to draw a green card in their kits, like you can just use it with Vados.
Yep. And all of a
Have you
sudden
ever
have
ran
your team back.
Have you ever guys run Vados with Android 18? That's ridiculous.
And Kefla.
Yeah.
Yep.
I don't know. I feel like him going tight neutral is also. I don't know. I could go on forever about how much I really like this unit. I just feel like he kind of just takes a lot of good points from all these other characters that we praised for being able to do that, and he turns it up a notch.
Mm-hmm.
Also,
That's
really
why
like
I really
Vados'
like
card destruction as well. It's really ridiculous.
Yeah.
I mean, that card destruction is like, for me on the future Gohan, having card destruction and endurance, like you could have stopped there on the kit. That just blew me away. I'm like, well, that's just amazing. Every time I play a match without that, I feel like I'm naked. Like they can just keep hitting me and there's nothing I can do about it.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I can see where Ryuden's coming with the Vegeta, but the healing card destruction is where I'm gonna give Vados the number one support.
Yeah, the thing with Vegeta is just the fact that he's always going to be better for a bigger tag, right? Saiyans is just forever going to be the biggest tag, right? So that's his advantage.
Well, that's what I say. Yeah, if you guys are out there and you're wondering if those units you want a 14-star or whatever with all your multi-Z power, this unit will stand the test of time. You'll see him on future teams. People will be doing showcases of the upper limit of newer units using this Vegeta. He will be there for you. I don't see a future where people aren't running this Vegeta.
Well, until a new support unit comes out that's better.
But that's probably going to be Also, I think that's going to be a different tag before we see another Saiyan support of this level.
And
also,
nobody Zenkai buffs this guy either, right? No yellow Saiyan.
Yeah, that's correct.
No
Get
yellow
GT
Vegeta.
Vegeta here in the future, you know it.
They're too busy making blue Zenkai.
True.
True that. My resources hurt.
Okay, we got the inside scoop here. All right. So we've got also a new English. We also got a new free-to-play unit with Buhan. Prof, have you grinded him?
No, I have not. I fought against him a couple times. I've seen the community's videos and I've talked to my Twitch chat and read his kit. He appears to just be an absolute damage machine, and then just stops after 50 timer counts, which is cool. I think I really like the fact that he, in typical Buhan fashion, he kind of gets his main ability back super quick, and then there's a lot you can do with his green cards. But no, I don't have any first-hand experience with the unit right now, other than fighting him, and he was able to take a decent hit. But I don't see too many people taking him into combat right now on the region team. He seems like his home is going to be on powerful opponent. I do appreciate the fact that they gave him a pretty decent Z ability. It's not best in slot for purple, blue, but it is really good. It's 30% to both attacks. And he's kind of ramps up. I believe he used like 10 cards or so, and he's going to be at full power. That's kind of his whole shtick, is you want to get in and get the damage quickly. I think Goresh has made a video. How do you feel, I guess?
Well, I mean, right now he's only 4. Well, technically, when I made my video, he's only available at 4 stars. So yeah, he felt fine. He wasn't really great. I think he has the makings of a really good unit, though. Like his kit is going to scale really well with his stats going up to the 14-star level. So I think once he gets to the 14 stars, like he'll be able to like be a monster. Because there were times in my video where I was just like comboing people with him for like 15 counts long, and he was getting them down. Like he was getting like 12-star Vegito blues and stuff down to like a third of their health from full health in one combo. So like he has the makings of a good unit. He's just really, really heavily blast based, and he really can't take a hit. So you have to sort of maneuver the barrier to work in your favor. And in terms of his Z ability, I would have preferred if they just did a straight regen Z ability for him over just the colors.
Me too.
I don't know. You can run him with Broly and Ultra Instinct Goku this way.
Yeah, I feel like they gave him a pseudo Z ability because most of the powerful opponents in newer regions are blue, and then he's purple, so he's going to buff himself. There's just going to be one oddball unit, and it's kind of lets him slide into powerful opponent. I mean, obviously, it's free to play unit. He's going to be on the budget teams. I think I'm excited to see his full 14-star power because he gets 150% from his first ability, and then his second ability is going to give him another 60%, and then you pop his main. No, we're going through the roof here on power. So
it's time gated. Like
it is.
He falls
not only is
off,
it time gated, but it's cancelable.
Yeah, it is cancelable. That seems to be his big Achilles heel, and I have a feeling he's going to get relegated to the bench. And as I already mentioned, he's not the optimal blue purple bench either. I believe it's at Android 14, and Boo have way more potency abilities, and you're going to be.
The only thing I don't like about this character is he randomly draws a card. Like, if his idea is to land strike and blast cards, and because he's free, they don't want to give him card draw speed, I would have preferred if that was like, oh, randomly draw a strike or a blast. It only happens 3 times. He's no Vegito Blue, so at least give him that.
Yeah, I was about to say.
I've had moments where I drew a green card.
Yeah, that's annoying.
Okay. That's problematic for sure.
At least it doesn't destroy a card, though, you know, Raditz. At least it doesn't destroy a card.
We don't talk about
That
that
is
in
the worst
very
example of that.
We do not
before.
talk about that here at all.
Okay, I'm sorry. Won't happen again.
His green card is comboable. Like the old Green Senate used to do this, and they kind of fixed that with a few patches ago. So I feel like there's some technical plays you can make with that green card. I don't know. I can see where comboing with him, and then he loads you up with a blue card, and you're like, well, that's great. I don't have enough key for that, right? So like I can see where you don't like it, but I have a feeling, you can put that one in the bag, accept your combo's over, and maybe make a bigger play. So I'm not too shunned by the randomness of it. I've seen some pretty random plays from Dispo drawing cards and randomly having new blue cards that actually did pay out. So there's pluses and minuses, but I don't know. He feels free to play. I see CVG going off in chat, so maybe we'll see some cool builds coming out. But I don't know.
I would. No, go ahead. Sorry, I interrupted your finishing thought.
No, I'm just gonna say he feels middle to upper tiers on the road, but we'll see with time because we can't even see his 14 start. Kind of have to feel it. Some of these units look like gods on paper, like Turles, and then they come out looking like crap when you actually play them. So.
ZVG also absolutely loves Buhan too, so.
Oh, I don't know that.
Perhaps a little bit of bias, but we'll have to reserve our judgment till 14 stars, so we won't.
Well, my chat was praising him up and down, saying, this man's a monster. Check him out, check him out, check him out. And when I do check him out, I'm like, well, these are some crazy.
You give that green bubble shield to any character, and they have a significant advantage over like the standard character. Like that bubble shield is ridiculously OP. But when not so much when Broly does it because he can only combo into blues. When you can combo out of it into anything like Android 17 or Buhan, you can make some pretty powerful setups that way. Kind of like Kid Buu, where you can time that right and get your vanish back and leave the character in the field. I mean, obviously it's not going to be as effective as Kid Buu, but you can still stall for a long time.
Technically, you can test him out right now in LBR mode, I guess, if you wanted to throw him in against other 14-star units just to see how he stands up against them. I haven't done that, but it's possible to do.
That's very true.
Yeah, I don't know. I for a lot of people like to ask if it's Dispo or Basil, right? It's the best for the Rebel universe, and I always like to go with the not Basil, Bergamo. I'm sorry, Chad, I just confused the crap out of you.
The old Bergamo.
But I like Bergamo more 100% just because of that barrier. His ultimate, all that's nice. Dispo kind of has that, and he has the extra card drop, but you can make some crazy plays with those barriers.
True.
So.
Yeah, and also.
Just, sorry, go ahead.
I was just gonna say, going back to the budget teams, how we were talking about how with this guy, he's a free-to-play unit. The thing that I honestly got most excited about, just me being biased, of course, is that we can run a completely free-to-play blue purple team now, and that's honestly kind of like what I've been running, even though it's a little scuffed. But using the free-to-play Android 21, the Zenkai Cell, the EX1, and then the Buhan now, and I feel like I'm running that with somewhat of success. Obviously, I'm going to have a lot of difficulty running into Zenkai units, but for the most part, like the free-to-play in me is extremely happy and extremely content.
Mm-hmm. So my point, I was just gonna, this might be a hot take, but going back to the Z ability of the new Super Buu that came out, I thought they were gonna go with kind of like the Rising Battle Red Vegito approach, where like it was like plus a certain amount % to regen, right, to strike and blast, whatever, and then do that additional that they did where it was plus 20% to maybe character Boo or character like Super Boo or something.
Yeah.
Have they ever brought that formula back to Rising Battle units where they add plus 2 character?
Not the character, but we can kind of see a pseudo version of that with Android 21, and she has, I guess, 3 parts of her Z ability, and it's like girls androids regen, something like that. And then the only other character that fits that is 21.
I think the only time we ever had a Z ability that buffs a specific character is that Vegito, and then the Kakarot Goku buffing the Gokus. But
Right.
I think the reason why they did the Vegito that way is because like they were just like, hey, you don't have enough reasons to summon for Vegito? Here's another one. Like that's why.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Like they needed one. Everybody loves Vegito, right?
Because like that Z ability is still insane to this day. Like that's so crazy.
Yeah, I think him and the year 1 anniversary Vegito has the best the Z abilities to date.
The heal buff at 14 star.
Yeah, the extra health if you go all the way in.
14 star.
Hey, there's a lot of people that have it by now.
Mine's 6 red in the limbo state, so I need one more. I think
Mine's
like
4
400
stars.
Z power away.
I have a friend that's completely free to play, and he's got it at 9-star right now. So
What?
yeah, if you focus on banners and you stick to one team, you probably look like a monster if you're truly year 1.
Yeah,
That's the way to go, especially free to play.
it is, but I'm kind of just built different. I like to summon on every banner, and it definitely bites me in the butt, I'm not going to lie. So I got a lot of just really understarred units.
Yeah, but I guess most people do.
It's definitely a long game. If you're not spending any money, your account is going to take quite a while to develop, and it's going to require a little bit of luck also.
Yeah, definitely.
Oh, it is not. Okay.
Well, I mean, you guys keep dogging on this ticket system, but I gotta believe if you are getting into the game, you're new, and you're spending a bunch of money, the tickets kind of catch your account up real fast. I've got to imagine if you've got a fresh account and you spend 100,000 Chrono Crystals, you're going to come out the other end with a really good looking account.
I just wish the pool was bigger, I would say. Like Goresh said earlier, maybe just like have like every unit on it. Like honestly, just have every unit on the banner. Maybe like increase the rates of the featured units a little bit. Because I don't like when you do like one ticket and it's a sparking guaranteed. It's literally the same rate of like the tickets that you get from like your adventures, you know? Like it's 1 in 200 to get the new LF, even though it's sparking guaranteed. I just kind of wish the pool was bigger, and it was definitely an improvement from the last one, where there was only like, how many units was there, like 12 or something? Like before this, it was for the Broly and Gogeta. There was only like a couple units on it.
I don't remember the ticket banner, but I just remember that one was bad too. For me.
Yeah.
Can't speak for anyone
That one
else.
was
Me
really
too.
bad. It was like same unit like 3 times in a row.
Yeah, a lot of green Goku blacks, a lot of like Vados, a lot of just random older stuff.
Well, they could have like 3 tiers to it, right? They could have the brand new units getting, you know, their 10 to 20% rate backs or whatever. Then you can have the newer units that are also featured, like Cell or Goku Black, that you end up pulling 400 copies of anyways. And then as Goresh is wanting the random units that are at the bottom, as long as they're all sharing the same percentages and you don't have to skew the first 2 tiers as in the brand new featured units and the kind of newer featured units, then I think it would work. But there's a lot of people that are trying to focus those units, and although we've been playing the game for a while, I've been summoning, we have them all. That I mean, I saw a bunch of people getting excited to get, you know, Goten and Trunks off of this, and they got quite a few. I think, wait, I'm thinking, getting my wires crossed, I think that's on the
Gohan banner.
Yamcha at launch banner, yeah.
Yamcha launch
Oh,
banner,
the
but
Yamcha. Yeah.
that came in clutch for them, so I don't know. I think there's pluses and minuses.
Definitely.
Yeah. All right. So with that free-to-play Buhan, obviously there also came the event for the free-to-play Buhan, which is still kind of underway. Sherwood, you grinded him up all the way, or how do you see that event?
Okay, so going to it, answering your question, I haven't yet grinded him up all the way. I've been focusing more on the raid boss right now, but I have done my research on it, and if I pull it up again here, it says something along the lines of like, limit break, do this event to get them to 7 red plus, but at the same time, it's like, you can't. Like, you gotta wait like 2 days or a day or so, and you know, we hope you continue to enjoy Dragon Ball Legends, but it's just, I don't know. The way I personally see it is like, I just don't think they should be time gated at all. Like, I think when a new event comes out, just let them go from stage like 1 to 50, 1 to 100, whatever it is. Just do it. Just if people want to spend the time to grind for the unit, go for it. I think they ditched the whole 1,000 crystals, right? So you don't get 1,000 crystals right out the gate anymore.
It's
like
only 400 anyways.
It's only 400?
Yeah.
Oh, I might be thinking of like the old like Vegito, where it's like if you get to stage 100, you get like 1,000, like 200 times 5.
Yeah.
So yeah, like the events, I heard that some people and friends of mine, they don't like the missions, like the challenges that you have to do, like bringing like certain colors and stuff to complete the challenges. They said that they had a really hard time with that.
What's not to like?
I think they're just lazy. Like, I personally like the grind when going into events like that, but it's just my biggest concern is really, you know, not being able to do those last couple for those keys to unlock missions. And then when you do unlock the missions, you have to wait. Like, it's just waiting upon waiting. And when an event comes out, I would just prefer to get it done if I want to get it done, you know?
Yeah.
Yep.
I think for me the biggest like downside to this whole system is the fact that it's double time gated. And what I mean by that is that not only is the actual event itself time gated, but the actual like the missions require you to obtain all 50 keys. And the way to get those 50 keys is you need to beat all the stages of the event.
Which aren't out.
Which aren't out yet. So you can't even start doing the missions until you beat the time gated event. So that's why it's double time gated, and that's like the dumbest thing ever. Like they saw our criticism for like the time gated events, and they're like, oh, they don't like time gated events? Let's just make it double time gated. How about that? It's like they're trolling us is what they're doing.
Yeah, that's probably the worst thing about all this is the fact that you don't get the mission key until you're done with the event. Like those missions are totally ones that, like the Ginyu Goku, you did them as you were progressing through the event. Like, well, I don't know why they changed that. Like, the time gating, I can get around because I'll just go play other games. Like, clearly Legends doesn't want me to play, so they gate the event, so I'll just wait, do it when it's available. I'll play something else. But
the reason why they do it is because they have no other content. Like, that's their artificial way of extending their content out. Because otherwise people will just do it in one day and be like, oh, where's the content? I don't agree with the way that they do it, but that's like probably what their mindset is going into it.
Yeah, but that problem is still illustrated, and they get the bad guy rap for now, like also not having content and delaying the content that they do put out.
Well, and then maybe I'm just a Scrooge, but these keys and the missions now being in 4 different places and all this crap, it feels like they took a system and they made it more annoying. It didn't need to be. You could have made it harder. I like to always harken back to the Battle 51 Frieza fight, but you know, I'd rather a community try to come together and talk about how to gimmick a boss fight rather than, wow, I really hate making 4 teams to go back into this one event so I can get my 400 Chrono Crystals. That's going to be 4 hero units in about 5 seconds. Like, it's mind-boggling, man. And I feel like if you're going to sit down for an hour and a half, 2 hours doing an event, you should come out the other end feeling rewarded, at least.
Yeah, I agree.
I think I just wish you could get the keys right away. Like, if they were going to time gate something, I just wish, like, you could get the keys at, let's say, what does it go up to now, Battle 40?
Yeah.
Yeah, right now, and then 50 comes out tomorrow.
Okay, so let's say once you beat Battle 40, you do get enough keys to unlock those missions. You can't do Battle 50 right away, fine, gotta wait a day. But then if the missions are, I believe it's like using colored units or something, like yellow a certain amount of times or whatever, I would just jump into PvP at that point, because then I'm getting missions done while playing PvP. I'm just the type of player that, like, if I can get 2 things done at the same time, like, that's just the way I like to play. So I just don't like how I feel like I'm kind of wasting progress with that, because I'll play PvP for like 3 hours, and if the keys were just automatically there and the missions were already unlocked, I would have had it done, but now I got to redo it because I had to wait a day.
Yeah, I think if I was to think of this, if they weren't to get rid of those current method they have going with like the double time gating or whatever, like the best way that they could sort of like do a middle ground for this is what Nas said, where they just let you complete the missions before you unlock the mission. Like, so once you unlock them, then you can just instantly like, you know,
claim them,
collect the rewards. Yeah,
you get credit for doing them.
When those whatever missions, the All-Star missions dropped, right? That's how they were. It kind of teased you that you had all this stuff just sitting there.
Yeah, exactly. And then for whatever reason, for this one, they just went down a completely different path, because again, it's their way of artificially extending content that they can't make for whatever reason. And that's another argument to make too. Is this whole Buhan unit is literally just the green Buhan. There's not a single unique thing about him in terms of animations, stances,
blue card, green card. Like, what about his win pose? Have you checked that? Is that even different?
It's the same. It's the exact same. It's the same win pose.
So it's 100% carbon copy with different stats.
They just copy and pasted everything about him. So to me, I don't know why they can't. We talked about this a little bit before we actually went live, but like, I don't know why they can't just do this way more often for these units. If they're just going to copy and paste the existing units that are already in the game, they should be able to do one of these units like every month, at least, or every 3 weeks. Should be very easy for them to do.
Then in that situation, it's just like Dokkan, where all they have to do is sort out the stats and the kit on paper and just apply it to everything animations that's already existing in the game.
Well, they've been doing this. It's funny that he's purple, because purple Goku Black is the first unit I think of as a true copy paste, and then you get transforming golden Frieza is literally just the old yellow Frieza, and then suddenly he swaps into green golden Frieza. They've been doing this. But yeah, I agree. If you're going to give us a free-to-play event that's literally the same unit with a different color and updated, abilities, then...
I agree with what you just said, but at least those units have some subtle differences, like different animations on their red cards, different win poses, different little quotes they throw out and stuff. This one is like tantamount to the yellow Goku Black, purple Goku Black. Like,
yeah,
that's what this Buhan is.
At least the purple Goku Black has a different win pose. This guy's literally the same. Every possible way he's the same.
The Super Trunks, and I don't know about the Vegeta, I'm almost certain it's the same win pose.
Which one?
Oh yeah, for EXs, yeah, they did a lot. They do that a lot for EXs, but this is like a sparking Buhan. Like, this is the same unit.
Oh, you felt free to play to me.
Yeah, I mean, he's free to play for a reason. Up here, and it says aim for 7 red plus by winning battles and clearing special missions. But in my personal opinion, I think it should say aim for 7 plus by waiting 2 days and then doing the missions. I just think it's kind of clickbait on the banner.
Well, yeah. That would be a funny meme if someone made that, but...
I'm just making it haha funny, man.
Yeah, I would enjoy that. That would get a little belly laugh. But, yeah, I don't know. I don't know what their situation... Maybe, alright, we're being a little harsh on them. Lord knows that I'm extremely harsh on Legends PvE, compared to everybody else even. But maybe they've been skimping on all this to put their resources to this new mode or whatever. Maybe.
So.
Yeah.
And guild versus
light at the
guild.
end of the tunnel.
So hopefully...
Oh yeah, guild versus guild. Only announced a year ago. Yep.
I'll come out and be the positive, maybe a little for once. So hopefully this is all because they've been working on some really big stuff that they're going to unveil, and it's going to be really cool. But then I'm also extremely worried about the first thing I see about the new mode is, grind out friendship to get an advantage. I'm like, here we go.
Nas trying to replace the salt shaker with some sugar here.
It's a little of both.
It's a mixture.
Yeah.
I want to be excited, but I'm worried.
Yeah. So for the sake of time, I would say we just move on to another piece of content that we got that is still ongoing. Nas, and that is the raid. Have you done that at all, or do you?
Yeah, I've done it twice, 2 fights, and I will tell everyone in here that it's pretty much structured identically to the previous raid, except they just loaded the boss up with more health, so he's not going to die as fast. It's one of those like infinity grind raids where you don't just have to do it 10 times, get your rewards, and then you're done with it. Like the first like 5 raids that they implemented. Now it's this whole, oh, you do it, you get 1 coin, like one courageous battle medal. Like, now do it 89 more times until you get bored of it, and then
to get 89 medals, right?
Yeah,
You get 1 every time.
Yeah. So, like, it's an infinity grind just for however long the stage is up, / however long it takes us to kill the boss, because they've been very experimental about how much health they give these bosses. But, yeah, I mean, other than you fighting Vegeta, the special units, Buhan, or not Buhan this time, is the new Kid Buu, and then if you have him, you could just win by not even looking at the screen and just kind of like randomly pressing buttons while you're not even looking, and you'll still win in like 15 counts. And, you know, for the consolation, if you didn't get Buhan, you could use like the Zenkai 21 or the EX Evil Buu or Zenkai's EX Cell. So it's very easy to get through this.
Don't use Buu tanks.
Yeah.
His animations are so long. Please don't. I'm trying to
the
speed
blue
run
card
this, man.
especially, huh?
Yeah.
The Zenkai Cell actually is really good for this. The second form one that's free. That just had that bug where everybody should have him fully done by now. But yeah, use him.
I was asleep, and when I woke up, it was fixed. I already had him at Z7, but basically
I already had him at Z7 too. I was kind of annoyed because I used like 1100 energy to get him done.
You use like 1,000 energy, and I use 70, and we're in the same result.
I used 650. I didn't take advantage of that. I kind of didn't like. I know if I should. Like if.
No. Look, this is for you and for everyone in the audience. When the game messes up on their side, you can do these things. Like they cannot.
Can exploit it?
Yeah, they can't hold that against you because it's their fault.
I'm not sure, but a lot of times when it's a known exploit.
No, this isn't it's not an exploit. It's they messed up. There's a bug. They have to fix it as soon as possible. Everyone that took advantage of it.
One situation where you can just immediately go, oh, yeah, free piece of candy, right?
The reason they can't act is because they didn't have time to put up a notice saying there's a known this, that. If you do it, you could be punished. Like, they're not just going to come out of the blue and punish.
Find some exploit bug that allows you to duplicate Z+ items on your account.
That's
I would
different.
not advise anybody in chat. Well, it's part of the game.
No, that's you finding an exploit in their game, not them making a mistake.
I actually agree with Prof Sen on this. Like, when I saw the exploit, I dodged it because
they won't act on that. And
this is something that's so far out in the open. That's like going to your gift box and finding 100,000 Chrono Crystals. Of course, the entire community is going to click it, right?
Yeah, so this one was but that would also be their fault. Like they could have.
Yeah, sure. All exploits are their fault. They make the game. Don't use modded APKs.
No, that's what I'm trying to tell you. There's a difference. There's a difference between you maliciously trying to attack the game's code to exploit it versus them accidentally messing something up and the players get benefits for a little bit.
But wouldn't the person like us, for example, wouldn't we also be in the wrong for acknowledging that like it's a bug and us continuing to exploit it?
But the limit of what they did to punish people is I have -63 next to that daily stage. That's it. I can't do the stage for 63 days, but I'm done.
Here's a better thought. Is Zenkai 7 EX Cell worth this at all?
Yes.
Probably not.
I would spend $500 for him. Zenkai 7, $500.
I mean, whether you did it or not, is it worth the risk at all?
I'm just trying to illustrate there is no risk.
It's not about risk or not. I mean, you know, like you hear those disclaimers before like bed commercials or whatever. I don't want the 5-9 chat here and saying if you find an exploit, hey, Bandai, fuck.
No, that's different. That's what I'm trying to say. There's a bit. If you go out of your way to maliciously find an exploit, yeah, they could probably ban you or send you a DMCA. But if they just like, oops, we took off the daily limit of this stage every day, people are playing it a lot now. That's not the same as like hacking the game, right? Or using an APK. That's like, oops, our bad. Like, for example, this one time I was playing a different gacha game. And there was a summon you could do that's essentially the same as this game, right? But it was bugged, and if you summoned on it, it was giving guaranteed 5 stars on every pull. And people were just going in there and summoning like crazy and getting, you know, like, example, getting, you know, every summon would be like one of this Vegeta. Like brand new one, or a featured unit.
Was this Fate Go that you're referring to?
No, it's Final Fantasy Record Keeper.
Okay.
And it was like that for like an hour and a half before they figured it out. They didn't take away stones
I think I
that
just
you
have
spent.
a bad experience
They didn't
with
take
mine. mine's Call of Duty related, but there was a glitch where you can get like unlimited supply drops in one of these old Call of Duty games, and you could keep claiming them over and over and over again from your gift box, and they banned me. And I was like, oh.
Again, if you're like finding an exploit and abusing it like that versus they make a simple like a mistake where you can just play a stage over and over again that you're not supposed to. It's on a different scale of intensity.
I guess so, yeah.
But
I see that.
Regardless, to shorten up this raid discussion, this raid is identical to the previous one, but the boss has more health.
I think it also depends on how widespread it is. If everyone on Twitter is talking about it and like every single person is doing it, they wouldn't ban everybody. They would have to roll back the server, which means that if you did it, it would be fine anyway. Whereas if this was something that like you found and it was like some, like, I don't know, if you change the coding of this equip and then like move it to a different slot and equip it on this character and then like remove it and like do all these steps, then like you can duplicate equipment. Then yeah, like obviously don't do that. But like it's just depends on the situation. It's not like a cut and dried thing, a black and white scenario. It's just like this in this one specifically, they're not gonna ban you.
It's like up, down, left, right, A, B, start, select.
Yeah, this was just a simple mistake on their part. It was a simple mistake on their part. They came in, they fixed it like an hour later, and the only thing they did was, oh, you played the daily stage 70 times today, so you have negative 69 next to it, so you can't. But I'm done with it, so what does that even matter? I don't have to play anymore.
I guess that would just be the punishment, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
You're in the negative. Makes sense.
Well, yeah. We were talking about the raid.
I mean,
just raid.
Well, I guess we got a little bit off here because there's not that much to talk about.
Right, and that actually is illustrative of the fact that raids are boring. They're just easy time sinks, and if they could restructure co-op to maybe you don't have to do it 100 times, maybe it's like actually challenging and fun, and you got to like you brainstorm with a friend on how to beat it, but you only have to do it like 20 times and you get all the rewards, but it's harder. I think even that would be better than this and wouldn't require too many extreme, drastic changes to the mode, but I would like them to kind of redesign co-op a little bit.
So me too. Usually I'm the negative Nancy here, but if anybody's looking for a positive about this raid, get a bunch of chrono crystals, and it looks to be a ton of erasers. Per time spent in Legends, this is probably the best place to spend it.
I have done probably about 200 of this raid, and without buying any, I haven't spent mine yet except for the crystals. I have gained, I think, 17 solder racers from just the drops at the end.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, that's pretty good. That's pretty lucky, I would say.
Yeah, that too.
And I also got, like, I think, maybe like 750 EX Z powers as well that I can pump into the Broly.
Oh yeah, I'm not complaining about the rewards. The reward structure is fine. It's just actually playing it is mindless and boring. And that was more directed towards chat.
I'm an old school RuneScape player, so I'm used to this. Doing nothing. Same thing all over and over again, you know?
Just auto-click.
If they add the auto combat button that they have in the solo co-op modes where you fight the raid boss with some kind of AI or whatever, right? Yeah, I would play this raid all day. I would just chat with everybody, keep the auto going on, and you're just refreshing your raid. Because let's be real, that's all you're really getting out of your co-op partner, anyways, right? I don't see you reaching a different outcome if auto's on, or if you're actually trying to beat the boss. Maybe,
or it gives us a bot if they DC. That'd be nice.
Yeah, that would be huge.
That would be fantastic.
No, dude, the biggest thing they could ever do is just give us the rematch button.
Oh, rematch, yes, please and thank you.
You find somebody with a brain, and then you can just,
I think we covered why they specifically haven't done that, though. We covered that is because you just find a good buddy and keep rematching with them forever, and then the general populace would have less potential chance to match with someone.
Well, they gotta get good.
Friend or guild member, I should be able to do it indefinitely.
That's an argument, but I don't think that's a good enough argument to exclude implementing the rematch button.
I don't either. I just think that is their reason as to why they're not doing it, regardless of whether we think it's good enough or not.
I see it as an oversight, just like they don't have an auto.
No, it's not an oversight. I can almost guarantee you it's intentional to keep people having to random queue to keep the population of people playing co-op like more filled. Like I can almost guarantee that's why they haven't added that button yet. because we've been telling them for like 3 or 4 months now. Usually they pick up on stuff that the entire community mentions to them, especially when it's like D-Free, Goresh, Rhyme, those people, but they're just like, eh. So like maybe the data shows that, like, I don't know, they just not enough people are playing it at certain times where they feel like they need to do that or something. I don't know. Hopefully they add it soon though.
Dude, do you realize how many more people would play co-op if they had that rematch button?
Yeah, but random queue wouldn't be populated because it would just be like me and you playing for like 3 hours straight.
It'd be me looking for that one guy that has a brain, sifting through all the garbage. And when I finally find that brain, it is going to be 5 to 10 matches in, and those 9 little Timmies all got their carry.
I agree with you.
Wait, no, hold on, because that would also promote people to actually use the better units that are more suited for this, and not bring, like, you know, against red Vegeta, they're not going to bring, you know, yellow EX Cell anymore.
I agree with everything
with
E-rank equipment.
Yeah. So they'll get, like, once they realize, oh, people like me using this character, well, I'm going to keep using this so I can rematch with people more. It's going to incentivize people to actually, like, start playing with good units.
I agree with all of what y'all just said, but I also see it through the eyes of, like, what if I was a player that just started this week and I try and go in and play, Extreme Clash Raid, let me try and beat this with a buddy. Maybe I need to be carried a little bit, but I'll random queue and then random queue is just empty.
Well, okay, on the other hand, not every event is created for beginners.
I agree. And there's the 3 different difficulties on the regular co-op, not really the raid, but the regular co-op has that.
If you're a new player, you shouldn't even be playing this anyway. You should just be playing the story.
Be playing the story and like getting the CC and building your account up, yeah.
You know, again, I agree with all y'all. I'm just trying to like see it through their eyes as to why, because they have to at this point have intentionally not added that button yet. So there has to be some reason why.
Yeah, and I was just wondering, Az, do you have any thoughts on this? Any opinions?
Honestly, I just think it's just like an awful kind of like grind. It's just tedious for me. Because for me personally, like I used to, when I first played, I'm a day 1 player and I never played PvP. Like for almost like my first year playing the game, I was just a PvE player because I was just scared of PvP itself. And so I kind of just am used to sifting through all this stuff, but I definitely would like it to be enjoyable just because this is what I started off with. I would like it to be like a lot more fun or a lot more just convenient overall.
Do you think it benefits you a lot, like as a free-to-play player?
Yeah, definitely. I do think this event helps out a lot just because of the fact that you get like you get the Chrono Crystals, you can get the Zenkai Souls. Because I know for me, it's just like on the off chance that I actually do Zenkai units, this is the kind of stuff that I actually need, right? Especially with like bells, like golden bells. Like I think I have like 3 of them or something like that, and so. You know, this definitely helps out in all those factors, especially when it comes to rewards. Like how Naz said, the rewards are good. It's just that the gameplay, like the setup of itself, can be fine-tuned probably.
Yeah, that was my whole point. I don't think the rewards are bad in any way. Like, just it's free stuff just for investing some time into the mode. I would just like it to potentially be something I actually look forward to doing versus something I'm like, all right, let me sit here and queue into this for 3 hours.
Where it kind of feels like a chore, yeah.
Well, I mean, that's the nature of a lot of in-game gacha in the first place is grinding.
The grind, man.
So I know there's a lot of people that are enjoying themselves right now. They're thinking about the loot. They're thinking about the end of the road. They don't really care as much as the raid because they want something passive to do while they're on the couch in a call with a buddy. Kind of how we're on right now. I guarantee you there's people in chat that got this up on their phone listening to this podcast as they're grinding this raid. I think that's what this kind of content excels at, right?
I'm not.
Yeah, that's true.
Some people like Brad even like to play during the podcast while we're over here recording.
So
that's exactly what I'm doing right now.
I'm sorry, guys.
A lot of people out there enjoy it, and I don't want to take that away from them because this actually is kind of prime content, and I'm getting a perspective shift just watching my own chats on my Discord, enjoying this. So
what is enjoyable about it?
Well, everybody's different.
The end result, like seeing what drop you get. It's like when you fight like a boss in an MMO. It's like, are you gonna get like the 1 in 1,000 drop, or are you just gonna get the common drop? It's kind of like that. I'm just excited for the end goal, I guess.
Yeah,
what I'm gonna get.
I can see that. That's fair.
I like actually fighting the boss and getting the good drop, or getting a drop.
Want an easy fight. They like the fact that they pulled Kid Buu, and haha, I can kill this in like 5 seconds now. I'm gonna get my other buddy that can kill this in 5 seconds. We're gonna smash this boss for 2 hours straight and see how many erasers we get. You know,
but
there's
maybe if
people
they-
like that.
Even if they didn't change that format at all, but added some type of like leaderboard system, like who did the most damage, who's got the fastest clear, like little
I would love a
incentives like
leaderboard
that,
system.
like would
Yeah.
make
Yeah,
even
me
this
too.
tedious stuff more fun. Like,
Well, I think
I
we'll see
think-
that with the new PVE system that we're getting.
The last thing I'll
Explain
say
that
about
problem.
this on my end is that I think the reason why we're so like being so hard on this event is because there's nothing else to actually do. Like if there's other stuff to actually do in this game other than PvP, then well, no, I'm just saying like if there's stuff to actually do other than this event, like people would just be playing that instead, right? So I think the
Yeah.
only reason why people are so focused on like the negative aspects of this event is just that's just like a telltale sign of that this is like, you know, we have to focus on this because there's nothing else to actually do.
I think those are good closing words because we still have one more topic that we want to at least touch on, and that is the video and stuff that is upcoming on Tuesday. Nas, what do you think they're going to reveal? Character information or also the game mode or?
I
anything
mean,
else as
I
well?
would assume this kind of reeks of like the same shorter style of video and stuff that they just hit us with for launch and Yamcha, where it was like 4 minutes long, and they just like, here's a couple new characters, and here's a little bit of news. Like, I have a feeling that they're doing that as opposed to like a newsletter. I mean, it's more personable when they do it this way, as opposed to like writing a text wall that we all have to read and posting it in the game or something. So I would anticipate 1,000-day celebration announcements, specifically because we know that the countdown, we're like experiencing the countdown timer to that celebration. So I would anticipate maybe them showing the highlight units for the 1,000-day celebration. If not that, maybe some of the lead-in stuff, and then teasing some of the highlight units. This is all going to integrate. I forget what date. What date is that Dragon Ball Games Battle Hour? Isn't that very
It's
soon?
in March, I think.
Okay, so that might line up more with like the anniversary stuff or Saiyan Day or something. But
Yeah, it's not anniversary, same day, yeah.
so yeah, I would anticipate this. Then they're just going to reveal the 1,000-day stuff and this game mode, which I'm holding my breath because of that advantage that they talked about. But you know, maybe it'll
Come on.
turn out to just be something that's really passive and it won't impact stuff very much. And I'm really hoping they find a way to make it fun. Like that. That's the main thing that I'm worried about. I want to enjoy like playing PvE. I mean, I enjoy getting the rewards right now, but you know, that's only like 50% of the PvE experience.
Yeah.
So
You should have fun playing it and getting the rewards.
yeah, I agree. So hopefully this will be a quick video and stuff. I do know that what we are planning to cover this live on 5/9, correct? Gresh, you gonna be there? We're gonna do the same thing we did last
Yeah.
time.
Correct, yeah. This should be on Tuesday.
Yeah, so, you know, everyone who's out in the chat right now, feel free to make sure you're followed, because we will be covering this live and throwing out our opinions, you know, some of our criticisms and whatever on whatever they show off. But I do anticipate, again, it being like short, 2 characters maybe, game mode, 1,000-day celebration info, and,
10 minutes.
you know, whatever quality of life stuff they may be working on. You know, alternatively, he's going to have you and the other dude on there, and it'll be like a, you know, a 5-minute, 10-minute thing, but I think it'll be a short one, honestly.
Well, keep in mind that for the last one that was short, they specifically said it was going to be like a 2-minute long episode.
Oh, in the post? Okay.
Yeah,
Yes.
they did.
So,
So,
yeah,
I, don't think
this
I don't
one-
think this is going to be a shorter one. I think it'll be a normal length one.
Yeah, and
It
that
is a
would,
normal one.
15
that would be
minutes,
cool if they actually like dive deep into the new mode and explain some of the mechanics to us, so we're not kind of left in the dark over here. Like, if I don't want to have to criticize the game harshly because they explain it all, I would love that.
So, sorry, did we cover the fact that it looks like there might be a Kid Goku?
No.
So that, what, from the 1,000-day login bonus, if you like zoom in super close, you can see Kid Goku flying on the Nimbus like very faintly in the lettering of the text, right? Is that what you're talking about, Prof?
Yeah, I mean, we discussed, you
It's
know,
hidden.
the idea of possibly dropping a new unit and giving everybody for 1,000 days a copy of that unit.
I mean the fact that, all right, here's my immediate response to that. We got the V-Jump leaks, which DKP in them. And very rarely in this game, it does happen sometimes, but very rarely is there a banner with like only one brand new unit on it, right? So someone's probably going to compliment that DKP on a banner, and V-Jump probably teased the regular sparking and not the Legends Limited, right? That's what I'm thinking.
Is it really going to be an LF Kid Goku, though? Because that's the same Kid Goku from the loading screen, and for all we know, it's just their cheeky way of saying, yeah, we're loading into 1,000 days, because they're part of the pre-celebration.
Yeah.
I feel like people are taking everything for clues now, and at one point they're also just overreaching, you know?
That's
and
their
I'm not
fault,
saying
though.
that. I wasn't saying that it's guaranteed to be the Kid Goku. I just pointed out that that detail was hidden right there, and people found it. But I still think someone's going to come with DKP that the magazine's not showing off.
I mean, you guys are ignoring the obvious. What if DKP is the LF?
Well, double LF, man. Come on, let's step it up.
It's possible. I mean, they showed off Piccolo and a bunch of other Legends Limiteds in the V-Jump, but...
Well, we already have 2 Kid Koos, right? We got the EX blue one, and we have the Zenkai yellow one.
We also have the GT ones, if you consider them as well.
Yeah, well, kind of. The main thing I'm getting at is with the Yellow Future Gohan, and now we have another Yellow Future Gohan LF, which is essentially the exact same attacks and moment from the anime, just done better. I wouldn't put it past them to have that moment where he does the blast through, done as a full LF animation. Like, I mean, totally see them doing that.
Dude, that single like attack that he does is like top 3 like attack that he ever does in the series. Like that's like one of the most iconic shots ever. Like him like bursting through Demon King Piccolo.
Yeah, and having like, the Ozaru on the screen as he's flying through the air.
They
did that one pretty
talk
good
about
already.
an LF worthy scene. That's like a top 3 scene in the entire series about what can be an LF.
It's already done pretty well on the ult of the yellow one, so I don't know how they're gonna. I mean, they just have to extend it by like 3 seconds and just add a bunch more effects to it, but it already looks pretty dang good, even on him.
The ultimate card on the red GT Goku is amazing. I think it's the red GT one where
that's one where he does the
dragon,
same
shoots
move.
the Kamehameha in.
Yes.
Yeah, it's the one he literally does to Super 17. It's literally the same move, but he turns around and then fires a Kamehameha back through the hole.
Does like that huge effect, kind of similar to like the Spirit Bomb absorb Goku, with like that visual effect. Mm-hmm.
Oh. Well, it looks like there's, on the official V-Jump site, they actually talk about this Demon King Piccolo. I can do a live translation if we want to.
What, is that something that's been there for a few days, or?
Nah, it's just literally just posted.
What does it say? Yeah, let's do it.
I'll give you the link. I'll post it in the outline.
Yeah, something
Look at that 5.9 exclusive. You only get the latest and greatest here, folks.
And as always, legendary commentator Ryuden stepping in.
Yeah. Okay, so
that's all I have to add.
Let me know when you have it pulled up, and I'll go through it.
Is this going to be the best SSJ3 partner yet?
I have it pulled up.
If he buffs yellow and green, he may be.
Yo, Naz,
Right,
you kind of gimmicked all of our cameras.
Except his own.
It's fine. It's fine. This is more important.
Okay.
Alright, so basically, this guy's Legends All-Star banner it was pretty expected that was going to be the case. His transforming unit goes from old Demon King Piccolo to young, and then scrolling down.
Whoa, they have the full card art on here already. This is going on Twitter.
Yeah, hold on. Let me just take a look at this real fast.
Naz knows how to get those likes.
Oh, he actually does require you to get a certain amount of Dragon Balls before you can transform.
Oh, that's cool.
Hey.
Yeah, it does say that.
That's pretty sick.
Oh, that art.
So,
Oh my god, this looks so good.
So it depends on the time that have elapsed, as well as Dragon Balls that you have. Once he's transformed, he has damage up. And he gets card draw speed when he enters the battlefield. Let's see. He also draws cards when your enemy switches out when he's switched in. And he has a lot of combo potential. And that's pretty much all it says there. His Z ability is Dragon Ball Saga, base blast attack, and defense is what it says.
There's so much info. Holy
his
crap.
first Z ability is that's what it is.
Have
The
we
second one is
ever
not
got this
revealed?
much info from like a V-Jump scan? Like additional?
No.
Like usually they show like the V-Jump, then like we have to wait, right? Until
Yeah. Okay, so that's his Z ability at like when you first pull him. His Z ability at 3 stars goes to the same. So it's obviously blast attack and defense, but then it's also for regen.
Yes.
6
please.
stars picks up powerful opponent,
Whoa.
and that's it.
That's
Powerful opponent.
Triple.
Did he already go over the color? Or
It doesn't say color, I don't think.
I hope he's purple. I really hope he's purple.
Purple?
Yeah,
Yeah,
Vegeta.
purple would make the new Buhan immediately go to the bench, but
Yeah, but also because I feel like Region needs a good purple because 21's been on the bench for a long time.
Yeah, it doesn't say anything about color or typing or anything like that.
well, if they Zenkai to region unit, I want the purple Janemba to get it.
But the fact still stands that, Legends All-Star banner, there's going to be at least one other new Sparking on there with him, so who can it be? I don't know. Maybe it's going to be Tambourine. That's who I would want, to be honest.
Well, I mean, it's an All-Star banner, so that means there's probably not going to be an LF, right? They don't introduce new LFs on All-Stars. So, and then he's going to get the missions to get the 6-star easily. So, I don't know. Watch him be yellow.
That would be so terrible.
I think they're just gonna do a Kid Goku, honestly. One that's not like a Zenkai or anything from Dragon Ball.
I feel like that's like a reality as well, because they want to just slap on some of the popular characters from Dragon Ball, right?
Fair. After launching Yamcha, just to kind of strengthen the tag a little bit more.
Yeah, that's true. I didn't even consider that.
Yeah, so are we expecting this one to drop on Wednesday? Or
yeah, maybe.
Or
honestly,
March.
this might be who they talk about in the Legend video and stuff, because I think in the past, like non-reveal and stuff, specific ones, they've only done Legends All-Star characters.
Okay, oh, fair.
Well, I mean, there's still a possibility of the Kid Ku, just not related to any banner, but I think that's the worst case scenario if it truly is a 1,000-day gift.
Could be. All right, I think this wraps up the podcast portion of the podcast. No, I'm kidding. So we're going to take a quick break, and we're going to go to questions right after. If you want your question on the podcast, make sure to follow us on Twitter or join our Discord and put your questions there. We have a Twitter thread Friday before the podcast. And with that said, we'll be back in 3 minutes.
Now you finally get your ads, chat. So relish them, enjoy them, breathe them in deeply through your nose like a spring mountain air.
Yes.
The first question, okay, so this is our question segment. Y'all should hopefully be pretty familiar with our podcast format. After the break, we take questions from Twitter, from Facebook, from Discord, and as well from any donations or, subs that come through on the Twitch itself, which is the case today, which is why there's nothing to display on screen, but Super Saiyan Chum Chum resubbed for 2 months with Prime. Of course, Twitch Prime, not a crime. Thank you, Gentleman and the Scholar. And he asks thoughts on the idea of Legends Limited units having 3 unique passives instead of 2 to help differentiate them from just the standard sparking rarity. What do you think, Gresh? You're extremely well versed in the balancing of this game, so start with you.
They could. I just think they try and just cram in so many things to their 2 already existing unique abilities. I mean, we can go look at Vegito Blue. How long is his unique ability? It's 7 paragraphs long. This Kid Buu gets 90% damage in one of his unique abilities. So they don't need to give them another unique ability. I think more so than doing that, they just need to add more stuff or more effects to their already existing unique ability. I think reserving those 2 for Zenkais is fine. Oftentimes with those unique abilities for Zenkais, we see very, very minimal effects. I think literally one of Beerus's unique abilities for Zenkai just locks 1 card slot. That's the whole unique ability. So I don't know. I think they don't need to just add another one. They could just fit in more stuff in the ones that they already have.
Yeah, I mean, that's exactly what I was going to say. If you actually read Vegito Blue's kit or UI's kit, it feels like they've got an extra sprinkle of something in there every single time, and so if they really accentuate them, and they also the defining factor, in my opinion, should be their platinum items. They can have a lot of fun with the platinum and platinum awakening as a way of buffing the unit post-release without Zenkaiing it. And you can look at the units like LF Goten, and they have a really, really interesting platinum awakening, right? So they could have a little bit more fun with those items. I mean, everybody memes that Gogeta Blue deserves card draw speed. Well, that's exactly the kind of place you could give it to him. and have it really feel special. And that's something that only a Legends Limited unit would receive.
You got to start using UI Goku as your example, Gresh. His passives won't even fit on the screen. Where Vegito Blues did, UI Goku's won't even fit on the screen.
It's because the unique gauge thing is like, oh, he could do this with them. He can't do this.
Yeah,
it's like so many different things.
This takes up like 7 lines right here. But
well, that unique gauge is the pinnacle of how a Legends Limited unit should feel. Like, not everybody should get the unique gauge, right? And this unit has a specific thing that only he can do in the game. I think that's the kind of stuff they should focus on.
I agree. I mean, they don't necessarily have to have a third one if they just reorganize some of it better. Or, I mean, and some characters, like we just discussed, Vegito Blue, UI Goku, already seem like they have a third one just in here with everything else. Like, like they said, look at this. All this is one passive right here. And you compare that to what Gresh said about Beerus, where he's got a passive that's just one line. Or you compare it to some of the older Year 1 characters that just have like 2 sentences in here, and that's it. So maybe just adding more to the newer ones. Or, I mean, the only other alternative would be to take some of this out. Like, there's no reason why they couldn't take this part out right here and make it its own third passive, right? Like, because it's different. Applies his fall, affects himself when the battle starts. He gets all this, and then this is applies affects himself according to number of timer counts. This could be a different passive right here. It doesn't need to fall under this, but that's just how they wrote it.
Are there any awkward EX or hero units in the game that have a third passive?
It only is the stuff that influences like the drop rates on certain events. That's the only third passive that I think we've ever seen in the game.
It's like Spirit Bomb Goku only has one passive?
Besides Zenkai, of course.
I might be all of my wires crossed. I can't think of any units that break the two. Yeah, so the Spirit Bomb Goku, the free one, only has one passive. And he's the only unit that I can think of that breaks the trend of getting 2. Like, chat, you can correct me if I'm wrong. Nappa had 3.
I'm about to look at that right now. His non-Zenkai version.
The yellow one? Or just the red one?
Nappa has only 2, and there's only 2 sentences.
Lucy's saying Nappa. There might have been another unit that breaks that mold, but I think the best place they could make Legends Limited units feel special is going to be the plat items. But
yeah.
I don't know. I wouldn't want them to get too much. Then you're going to get a Vegito Blue situation every time they come out, where this is just obviously the best unit. And there's no argument to be had. You just run this unit, right?
And then they get a Zenkai, and then they get 2 more passives, so they have 5 passives.
3. What are you talking about?
Oh yeah, well, one of them you just what? You get one at 3 and 6. What are you talking about?
We gotta make them feel extra special.
Yeah.
But no, I think, Gresh is probably the only one among us that actually uses these at their full power. But in LBR mode, like, people like to joke on Gogeta Blue, but he feels extremely powerful at 14 star for me.
Yeah.
He is, yeah.
He's a completely different monster. So maybe, we gotta take our perspectives, because the whales out there, are getting a different experience right now, and these probably do feel very, very, very premium. I can only imagine what a 14-star Kid Buu feels like right now. So, we'd have to see. I think their current system pretty works.
Yeah. When you include equipment as well, I mean, yeah, I think so too.
They just stagger. If there was a formula that you knew, okay, the unit came out 3 months later, they're getting their plat item. But like Vegito Blue is still just sitting here like, what's up? And Manja Vegeta's got his new item, and so
transforming units. This is responding to chat. Transforming units don't have any extra passives than regular units either. Most of the time, the transformation passive is the same as the one before. It just has bigger numbers attached to it, or like one extra sentence added to it.
So some are different.
So like with Kid Goten comes to mind. Like, he has passives that are tied to the first transformation. I believe Piccolo is another unit. No, Piccolo's might translate directly over it as a buff. But I know some of units literally have their kits change. No, Piccolo, I think you want to start his regen or something like that before you transform. You guys that are regen mates can correct me in chat. But there are some units that when they transform, they get a different set. And that's what they're talking about. That would be a pseudo third passive, if you would.
Oh, well, usually it's just an upgrade to their pre-existing one, so that would be pretty rare.
So here's one that comes to mind that I actually had to play with and not transform for a while is yellow transforming
Goten?
Gohan. Not Goten, but Gohan. Because you want to eat 2 hits before you transform on him, right? But that's a passive that's tied to his first ability.
Oh, yeah, where his damage scales up, and he doesn't have that after he transforms.
Exactly. So that's a situation where you do have the pseudo third.
I guess you
where
could say
really
similar
matters.
stuff about like the revival cell too, but
Revival Cell, yeah, he gets a whole new blue and green card. So you do play differently with him, but I think his main kit stays the same. I haven't really dived into him honestly. But
yeah, he gets those permanent buffs if you use his green card and stuff and main before he dies and comes back.
Oh yeah. So it's kind of like Piccolo. I think Piccolo gets like a 60 timer count heal if you pop a green or land a blue card before transform, something like that. But yeah, I mean, I like that a lot. Another situation where transformation mattered was Super Saiyan 3 Gotenks, the red one. So you get a bunch of ki when you transform, and if you wait to activate that, you can just pop a blue at the end of a combo. You just out of nowhere, or you can be out of ki and swap into him and just immediately snipe someone across the field. So I like it when they make the transformation mean something and not just the Oonga Boonga button.
All right, I think we'll have time for one more question. And that question comes from our public Discord from Monk Pirat. And the question is, what things would you guys like to see in the quote-unquote near-future guild update? I think Grand Cross has done a good job with their guild system, and Legends could learn a thing or two from it.
How's their system? I'm not too informed on the Grand Cross guild system.
I guess if nobody is, we can also just ignore that part of the question, I guess.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't play Grand Cross either. I know, but I do know from being in a Discord where a bunch of people did play, just to illustrate for non-Grand Cross players, is like there's like a daily check-in system. People have to like actually check in. They can like donate resources to the guild to like up rewards that you get and stuff like that. So it's like there's much more active participation between the members of the guild because you actually have to like cooperate to meet certain goals and stuff like that, right? And then you get
yeah, just to further elaborate on that, so like chat, feel free to roast me on this, but I play Tap Titans 2 in my free time, and I have a guild system there. And what you have to do for that, which basically does exactly what you just said, Nos, and that was your guild members, which can be up to 50, would have to log into the game, do their 5 dailies for 5 tickets. And so that would be like 5 times 50 you could get in a day if everyone did it that day. And then when you reach a certain amount, you can challenge a raid boss. That's how that works.
Yeah.
And you can also send clan crates and stuff.
Yeah, so it's just basically much more active participation between the members of the guild. In Legends, you don't, other than like using guildmates to conveniently farm raids, like there is no necessary interaction between
What do you mean? The
guildmates.
cheering system where you can give people 1 energy 3 times a day? Isn't
How
that
many
amazing?
times-
You get that energy too, man.
How many times have y'all, and this isn't just listed to you guys in here, but also to the chat, but how many times have you guys gone into the guild log, seen that someone's pulled a unit, and then you went in and reacted to it with a message? How many times?
I just
0.
found out that was a feature like 2 weeks ago.
Yeah.
If they, because one thing my guild and I actually had some fun with is when they did the guild battle, and we didn't go after the collector's points because we're not whales, we can't really go after this. But the
Arthur,
one we did
because-
go after was the battle points. That was the true measure of I played more than you, I did more PvP than you, I did whatever, right? And so that was kind of fun, rallying everybody together and saying, hey man, you said you would do this, get on it, kind of deal, right? And we all kind of had some fun doing it. And so if they had repeating rewards with each season, right? If you were the top, battle points, and it was actually a significant thing, like we were expecting to be able to, pretty much clean out the guild shop every time it reset kind of deal, because we're getting so many of those coins, because the guild shop's actually pretty cool. You get a bunch of racers, you get a bunch of coins, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
But it feels like it's such a slow trickle that you just want to forget about it. You just collect your coins that you get. You don't really care about min-maxing either way. If you're a guild that goes for the gold border, then you're probably just doing your adventures constantly and making sure you farm that raid. But I think if we were encouraged through the chase a specific category, like the battle points, collectors, if like you're a whale guild and you just know everybody's going to hit every banner, so you rallied all the troops inside that guild together. Well, you say it's boring, but they're going to do it.
Oh, your idea started off well, but then you had to make it about paying for summons. No, they need to make it like different goals, like your guild has killed like 5,000 regeneration characters this season or something like that. Like
I just want communication in guilds personally.
You can
toggle.
That's what I'm saying.
Where you can message like, "Hey, do your adventures. Don't forget, guys," or something like that.
Most people in the chat didn't even know that you could go into your guild's log and react to things with messages. Like I just
we all use Discord at this day and age, and why am I going to swap screens for legends when I could be playing my match, when I could be sitting in a call like we are right now, or getting my alerts typically on?
Well, my simple answer for that.
My guild is filled with like people that are subbed to my channel, stuff that I don't have personal contact with. So it would be nice to be able to contact them through that because I don't have personal contact with them.
But beyond all that, to answer what Prof just said, the reason why they're not going to do that is because they want your eyes glued to the game. They don't want you going to Discord and looking at that. They would want you to stay in the game. And if they do everything possible to facilitate you not having to leave the game, like a better social infrastructure, then that just equates to more uptime for them on their game. Now, undoubtedly, you have a computer, you could like play the game and be in Discord at the same time and stuff, but ideally they just want your eyes glued to the screen as much as possible.
So I'm in a Dragalia guild, and I played that for quite a bit, and their guild function is completely fleshed out to the point where we can message, coordinate, do everything, send rallies. Nobody uses it. Nobody. None of the guilds I've ever been in has actually used that function. It sounds like that's the missing key, but it's actually much simpler. It's the auto rejoin button. It's something like that the game really needs. It doesn't need a more fleshed out guild chat. I don't know. For me, if I could actually pick a guild feature to pertain more to the question on what I would love the final thing to be added, they've said that you can't do guild versus guild PvP due to the fact that, I mean, we already have queuing issues with people across time zone, right? Imagine trying to queue people for guild PvP, especially, right?
So
what they should do is have a time zone, like literally like a power hour, if you would, right? And have like maybe 3 of them that happen a day, and that you can all queue during that, and fights for that you are representing your guild, and then you can get an aggregate amount of points for going into that. I would love a literal guild battle.
That's what I was about to say, like guild battle, but instead of it being limited to you fighting the specific guild that you're rivaling, you just go into guild battle mode and you're fighting other guild people. Doesn't matter what the hell guild they're in, you're just fighting people that are representing their guild, and you get guild points.
Yeah, just have like a guild thing where you pre-register before you go in. That way dead guilds aren't being like, seeded or whatever. But it wouldn't even matter. All they got to do is take the same thing, how the PvP button gets replaced during LBR, and have that happen for the guild battle. And then when you go in, if you're in a guild, you can queue in and you're representing your guild at that point, getting points for your guild. It doesn't matter which guilds you're up versus, and you can PvP as much as you can during that hour and have it happen like 3 times a day.
Have it time gated, just have it available all day.
Oh yeah, you could actually probably just give tickets. Yeah, everybody gets tickets actually. That way you don't have people literally grinding it, and then it's going to feel somewhat fair. But I don't know, you still might have a wicked long queue if you do it where it's not unlimited.
My issue with that is, like, I play this other game called Marvel Duel, and they had essentially Hearthstone basically. And you know how Hearthstone has the arena mode where you can do the draft deck building and fight people in that special arena. Well, in the Marvel game, that specifically was limited to 2 hours a day. And they picked like noon to 2 p.m. And I was never available to do it. I never even got to play it one time because I was just never available at that time. So if they'd have to pick like 3 times a day where it would be up for like 2 or 3 hours.
Our current LBR system already does that, right? It has like a 2 windows or 3 windows a day that it opens up.
That's super annoying. I don't want to see more of that with the tickets.
Issue.
Go ahead.
I'm sorry. The only issue I have with LBR is everybody's a freaking cheater. Like half my matches, I get to the end, and then the dude decides he's going to disconnect to try to save himself, and so it's like you get really invested in the fight. You're sweating because you're not a cheater, and you could lose this. and then the dude ejects the last moment, and you're like, really?
Are we talking about like the battle royale thing or battle royale?
LPR, that was my biggest issue with it, is that I'm being punished because this dude's about to lose, and so he says we both lose. Get out of here.
That happened to me 3 times in a row. 3 times.
Yeah. Same. And it's all these Timmys running around, and they don't want to accept that they lost one of their chances at Chrono Crystals, and I swear it's because they put the Chrono Crystals on the line, and that everybody's like panicking at the idea that they might not get max rewards if they keep taking L's.
All right, I think that's gonna wrap it up for today. We have already have a pretty long, I think probably the longest podcast that we had so far. We have a video out right now on YouTube, so head on over there and check out our reaction to your fan-made Zenkai Ella Frieza kits. We have 3 people reacting, and of course, Goresh is one of those, because who better to react to Ella Frieza than the homie himself?
Yeah, can you imagine if he got a Zenkai? It's ridiculous. Like,
I can see the excitement right there. And yeah, with that said, we hope that you have a good week. Make sure to stay tuned for also more League and stuff and other content on our YouTube channel. And we will be back here a week from now with episode 23. And we hope you're safe. And yeah, until the next time, take care, everybody.